Hi, David Cohen here for our Sunday morning coffee chat on YouTube. Couple of things I'm noticing out in the collective is there's a lot of people, a lot of thought leaders, people like me, I'm a coach and facilitator, that are promoting, live your best year. This is the decade to do it, that kind of thing. And I'm actually signed up for some of those courses. So, I too need to get live my best year as well. But the other thing I'm noticing over the past few weeks is the intensity that's going on around us, and that's with Mother Earth and the change. The fires in Australia, the flooding in Indonesia. Yesterday, where I live in Toronto, we had records amount of rainfall. We had a whole day of rain with freezing rain warnings in effect, and just north of the city they did get freezing rain, and that can cause power to go out. It can cause dicey driving conditions. As a matter of fact, in Toronto, they had to shut down a major highway or a roadway called the Don Valley parking lot. No pun intended there. I don't think that was not a Freudian slip, or maybe it was. It's the Don Valley Parkway, which is a major highway, and it does seem like a parking lot throughout the day because it's very well traveled, and sometimes you don't move anywhere, so it is like a parking lot. But they had to shut it down because there was flooding with the amount of rain we got in Toronto yesterday. There was flooding, and the flooding of the Don River spread over and onto the road. So they had to shut down part of the Don Valley Parkway yesterday. So you got to be aware of these things. You have to have a plan for your life in the event of some sort of an emergency. And just this morning, again in the Toronto area, the Pickering Nuclear Station put out an alert at 7:26. And I was just, had my phone on then, my cell phone, and I got a message. And then people are posting it on Facebook. So if you have any friends in the Toronto area, look under your Facebook feed, and somebody's probably talking about it. So what am I trying to get at? It's good to have your dream and your goal and your big vision of where you want to go, but you also have to be prepared in the event of some sort of a catastrophe or some sort of an emergency. And do you have that emergency plan? Do you have enough, food, water, provisions to last you a few days? Do you have a family plan? Like, where would you go and gather in the event of an emergency, right? So, do you have enough cash on hand? Is the gas tank filled up? Little things like that you can do to prepare. And I'm not a fear monger. I'm not trying to put fear into your mind or head, but I just think that it's important to be prepared for anything these days. So yes, live your vision, live your goal for this year, live your best decade yet. But at the same time, be ready in case, Mother Nature says differently. And we're seeing Mother Nature act up a lot, right? I mean, yesterday, just alone in the Toronto area, as I mentioned, we had over 55 millimeters of rain. The weather reporters were saying that's 2 months of moisture. We got all in one day. And that, with the ground being frozen, the runoff of water went into the rivers, the creeks, the lakes. So just be mindful today of any, streams, creeks, things like that near you, because they might be really high. So you don't want to be kind of near them and, slip and fall into them. Not a good thing. Not a great way to start your best decade yet, right? So I laugh, but, and I make light of it. But seriously, you just have to be mindful. You have to be prepared in the event that something, comes up, like a weather event that we had yesterday, or a fire like in Australia. I mean, that's horrific. Yeah. and or in Indonesia they had massive flooding. So everywhere in the world we're hearing some sort of people are going, we're being challenged to our core. And so do your best to prepare, but also think like, what would we do if, and act, right, and be prepared a little bit. So live your dream this year for sure. And a couple of little points to live your dream, you know, act on it, get into action, get accountability, have a mastermind team, have an accountability partner, maybe get a coach, maybe ask somebody to mentor you, somebody who's gone before you in the area that you want to do, and say, hey, what would you do? And talk to them once a month and get their advice and their opinions. So really important to do that too. So this is this week's version of the coffee chat. We're now the second week into January. I hope it's going all right for you. The new year is off to a positive start. This is the time now to live your dream, to make really good things happen, and to really share your gifts and your joys with the world. We need to raise the vibration of the planet up and people. We're all going through challenges and hardships and pain. So just be thoughtful of one another and do work that helps to uplift others, and add to the people that we serve, be of service, and help each other. So a couple little points there to think about. Be prepared in case of an emergency. Live your best life for sure. Live your goals and your dreams. Have people in place that can help you get there. And it's safe to live that dream, live that vision, live that, the things that ignite you and spark you, and to come out and make a difference. You're going to get supported along the way. So that's it for this week. For the Sunday morning coffee chat, I've only had one coffee, so I'm going to go back and make another. And then I'll be off the wall totally. I promise you. Have a really good week, and thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll see you next Sunday, January the 19th. It's the 12th today. So have a really good week. Make it really positive, and live your dream, but also be prepared. Bye for now.